Joining me in the studio this morning is Michelle Levine. She's the Chief Executive of Roy Morgan Research, and she joins us now for an in-depth look at the seat of Lindsay, the seat from which Michael Rowland is broadcasting this morning. Michelle, good morning. Good to talk to you. All right, so this is a key seat. To use that terrible cliche, it's often regarded as one of those bellwether seats.
Absolutely.
On a very fine margin. Why? Why is it so significant? Why does it indicate the general tenor of either the state of the nation or the direction of a successful election campaign?
Well, I guess whoever wins this seat typically has actually won the election. But what we see in this seat is we actually see younger working families, which we sort of think of as typifying Australia.
Yep.
So I think they do. They fall in there, they're in the mortgage belt, and they're just the people that we see as typical Australia.
So we've been hearing some comments, actually, some vox pops from people living in that seat this morning, and that's exactly what they are. You know, we saw some retirees before, but a
Yes.
young mum, 2 kids,
Yes.
her own business, and talking, her focus almost exclusively on the cost of living, on how
Absolutely.
hard it is to just make life work.
Yes, it is, but you also see them, they're not negative people, they're not unemployed people. These are people that are working. There's about 67% of them are working, which is above the national average. So they're working hard to do good things with their families. They're very focused on their homes, their family, their job. They're focused on getting through life for them. They're not looking at the bigger social issues that sometimes politicians have to deal with. So they're very focused on cost of living, they're very focused on things that happen to electricity prices, price of fuel. All of those things really hit these people hard.
And what's the ethnic mix of that seat?
These seats do have quite a lot of people coming in from other countries, and what we see too is that's another big issue. So if we look at what are the issues for the electorate, we ask them what's the most important thing. Definitely it's about costs, cost of living, but the next one is they say, you know, don't bring the boats in, stop the boats. So these people have a very clear view about this. They see that the people coming from other countries are costing, so they're saying spend the money on people like us. So that's very much an issue for them as well.
All right. So if the focus is on cost of living, and that seems to be just where the two campaigns theme, as well as the economy, it's the economy, it's the economy, it's going to be those sort of direct messages that appeal most of all to these people in the electorate?
Absolutely. Anything that looks as if it's going to ease costs, but also these people don't see easing costs being government handouts. They're actually talking about getting the economy going again.
Okay. So jobs creation.
Jobs creation, but just getting the economy going. It seems that they're looking for a more vibrant economy. And we also looked, we survey businesses as well. And if you look at the industries in these places, it's like manufacturing, construction, and a lot of small business. And what we've seen is the confidence of those businesses over the last year has started to wane, and also businesses in New South Wales are less confident than the rest of Australia.
So when you did your survey, did we already have the announcement by the opposition about the cut to company tax?
No.
Okay.
No. So that's pre that.
Would you imagine that would make a difference to them? That would be something that these voters would approve of?
I think the voters would approve of it, but I don't think that they'll see that it would be enough.
Okay.
I mean, the really important thing in this seat and all of these Western Sydney seats is that during the Julia Gillard time, they really swung towards the LNP. So there was a big swing towards the LNP, as there was nationwide, but even stronger here. So we're seeing a swing back, obviously, to the ALP. The Morgan poll last night has it 50-50. And in these seats, there'll be a small swing back as well.
Before we let you go, let's have a quick look at the Morgan poll, which has been released this morning. And your figures are all square after the first week of the campaign.
Yes.
50-50 LNP for the ALP on the two-party preferred basis. But you also had a look at the debate last night too?
We did. We looked at the debate last night. So we had the reactor working on the debate, and that means that we've actually got a cross-section of people sitting at home saying how they feel, sort of second by second. And it's almost qualitative. You're looking at who's doing better, you know, who's actually winning the hearts and minds of these people.
So it's your version of the worm?
Well, we have the worm as well.
Yes.
It is the worm, yeah, but it's the worm from people doing it at home.
Yep.
And what we saw was that Tony Abbott was just ahead marginally throughout the time.
Okay.
So, you know, what happens is that Labor voters love Kevin Rudd, Liberal voters love Tony Abbott, but on balance, Tony Abbott actually was ahead. But then when we surveyed people, another cross-section of people, and asked them who they thought they had won the debate, we had Kevin Rudd ahead. Okay. So, you know, it's a really tricky thing, isn't it?
So who won the debate? Yeah, my goodness, you'd have to call that a dead heat, wouldn't you?
I think you'd have to call it a dead heat.
Okay. Michelle Levine, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.